It's still happy hour with John Gaskins. This round's on me.
I thought it wasn't for real. Those were the words of just one Sioux Falls citizen and his reaction when he woke up today and found out that 2 votes separated the 2 mayoral candidates in the runoff. Christine Erickson edging Jamie Smith by 2 votes out of over 36,000, which of course means there is a recount, and it's going to be a matter of weeks before we find out who the next mayor of Sioux Falls will be. That one citizen, by the way, was Chris Johnson, the University of Sioux Falls basketball coach who's lived here for almost 20 years. And I thought the same thing.
There was an internet fake?
Yeah, I mean, because there's so much of that anyway.
Right.
But nope, it really is for real. 2 damn votes. One of the many overused words in our vernacular as a society is unbelievable or amazing. But this really is like, you'd never think an election with that many votes, even though it was a really low turnout. 36,000.
It wasn't a really low turnout.
Well, we can talk about that as well. 36,000 plus, 2 votes decided it, and the recount might, who knows what it will find. But that is why we have Patrick Lalley here today at the Orion Pub in downtown Sioux Falls, SiouxFallsLive.com. You should be watching our show there anyway. But if you go to the homepage right now as of 4 p.m. today, it is full of election coverage that nobody else in town can provide as comprehensively. You went to work today and interviewed Jamie Smith. An article and a video you can see at SiouxFallsLive.com. You are the editor. You're a 30-plus year citywide reporter, columnist, newspaper editor, political junkie. So there's no place I'd rather be than right here, right now.
Right here, right now.
Literal happy hour just before 5 p.m.
Yeah.
The day after the election.
And it's been quite a day. I did get to talk to Jamie. I endeavored to speak with Christine, but they did not do one-on-one interviews today. It's kind of understandable. But she didn't do any. Issued a statement saying, "Thank you, everybody. We're just going to wait, and thank you, Jamie. You did a great job. You're a good person." But I did then go ahead and publish my interview with Jamie. Not a long interview, 10 minutes, and just talked about where his head is. It's a crazy situation. It really is. And I asked him, because he was down 9 points in the first round and closed it to 2 votes in the second. That's a big gap.
Yeah.
A lot happens in 3 weeks, but he really attributes it to the ground game. They really, because there was no way they were going to raise as much money as Christine. She ended up with twice as much money as they did, and so they relied really on the shoe leather, pounding on doors, leaflets. And so that's what they attribute it to, and there's some truth to that. That it's kind of an old saw about elections are won on the ground. But when you're talking about a Sioux Falls election, it's true. It makes a difference. Sarah Pankinen, who I talked to last night, she was a complete unknown in terms of politics in this community. She's a civil engineer, she's like an expert in sewers, but did work for the city for a time. But she beat Mike Crane in a runoff. Mike Crane's a guy who's a known quantity. He's been around forever, but part of it is he hasn't been doing anything for a long time. But that's how she won.
Yeah.
She didn't spend a lot of money. She just every day from 6:30 to 8:30, and on the weekends she went door to door.
Yeah.
And she won easily. And that still matters. And that's what Jamie attributes it to as well. That's how they made up that gap.
And, of course, look, Patrick is referring to the fact that not only, a mayor was supposed to be determined last night, but wasn't. But 3 city council seats were as well. That was the entire election. That's what over 36,000 people in a city of over 230,000 went to.
150,000 registered voters.
And 150,000 registered voters went to vote on last night, and all day yesterday and days leading up to it. And so while we're at it, Zach Akue, is that how you say it?
Akui. Yeah.
Akui, a registered nurse, a refugee from Sudan, who's lived in Sioux Falls most of his life.
I'm pretty sure it's Sudan.
I mean, what?
It's East Africa.
I mean, what a story there.
It's crazy.
He is literally now a shining and influential representative of a part of this city.
Yep.
And of this city's growth, evolution, and change over the course of the last few decades.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fraction of what this city is and has become, and he's an example of coming out of it. Like,
what's a city?
I mean, this city raised him.
Yes.
And it raised him to be a nurse, and now it's raised him to be a civic leader that's going to help make major decisions about this city.
Yep.
I think
nobody meets Zach Akui and doesn't like him.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Cordell
there you
Wright
go. There
says
it
he
is.
voted for Zach because Zach came to his door.
And again, shoe leather. Not that Zach DeBoer didn't put in the shoe leather. It's just, it still works. And, I think you were touching on it there. I've written a column now twice and torn it up, and I got to finish it later, about sort of what the election means.
Yeah.
And it does represent what the city is, right? Who the city is. It's not South Dakota, and I say this over and over again, but this isn't like other places in the state just because who lives here.
We have diversity.
And when you say diversity, and people immediately think it's racial, right? But that's not it entirely. Like, yeah, it's more racially diverse than the rest of the state and ethnically diverse, but it's everything diverse. Like, there's just all kinds of people here. And when you start to play pigeonhole politics, it just doesn't work. And I think, and Christine knew that. And the people who tried to play pigeonhole politics here probably did not help her. I would venture that they almost, if she doesn't win, that they lost the election for her.
And you're talking, of course, about
Toby
both.
Doden.
Toby Doden.
Toby Doden did it first.
Did
I'm
Larry
talking
Roden
about
endorse
Toby
her?
Doden. Yeah, but it was later.
Yeah, Toby Doden. This is only my second alcoholic beverage of the day. Was the one who, most loudly
and
loudly and proudly.
Not just I'm for Christine, which that would have been fine, but I'm for Christine. Everybody that went over and supported Jamie isn't really a Republican. They're slimy politicians. And by the way, Jamie Smith is going to turn Sioux Falls into Chicago and L.A. or whatever it was. It's just that didn't help Christine. I mean, he can say all that stuff. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's politics. But that did not help Christine. And if she loses, I'm sure she would have preferred that did not happen.
Yeah, that was the major kind of kicking point from last week as we did our pregame election show. And the postgame aftermath, you just gave it. And, I mean, also, Toby took a big steaming you-know-what on the two candidates, one Republican, Greg Jameson, one independent, Joe Batchelor, who supported Jamie in hopes that would, again, help Christine. But clearly their support helped Jamie. You would think that in the after that gap between from 9% to 0.000000001 is partly helped. You would think by the Jameson
and Batchelor endorsements.
And Batchelor endorsements.
Jamie says it did. Jamie says it mattered. That's that.
I can't.
It's hard to say.
I can't imagine how it would.
The other thing that is in play here is that the first round was during a Republican primary and the second round wasn't. So you didn't have people going to the polls to vote only for Republicans and then also for mayor. Yeah. You went to the polls this time to vote in some cases 2 or 3 races, but depending on where you live, it was just city people. There was no state people. It's nonpartisan, all that. And that's, to me, this election is much more reflective of the community, right? And whether Christine or Jamie wins is neither here nor there in terms of that statement. They appeal to their constituencies, and it's a very interesting. I wish we had some sort of data set that would tell us people's ultimate motivation, but we don't. We only can guess.
We can. In general, I want to talk about the turnout because that's one of the big takeaways that most people had. And by people, I mean lay people who you see on social media, your friends and neighbors who post on Facebook, some whose opinions you trust and give credibility to, some that you don't. But yeah, the takeaway was,
I thought the turnout was pretty good.
Okay, let's get to that. First of all, what was the turnout compared to the election 3 weeks ago that coincided with the Republican primary? When it just comes to the votes that determined mayor and the council seats.
There were 38,000 votes the first time. There are 36,000 the second.
Okay, just for mayor.
Just for mayor.
Okay, so 2,000 less for whatever.
All the other races are lower. There's undercounts. So there are many people who go in and vote just for mayor and don't vote for anything else.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for that explanation.
Yeah.
But
and also you'll see percentages posted in places, and people are very confused about this.
Yeah.
Because of the way they are presented by the city. Because the vote percentages that the city has on their website are the percentage of the votes of the total votes cast. So if there's an undervote of 500. The city's number reflects the percentage of the bigger number, when in fact you have to take the total that just voted for either of the candidates in the runoff and then divide.
My brain hurts. I'm just going to sit. I'm just going to sit and watch these suds rise to the top of my beer in this mug.
There are. If you look on the city's website, there are percentages with 2 candidates are both in the 40s.
Okay.
And neither gets 50, and you're like, oh, how can that be?
Okay, I'll try to take us back to planet Earth. Thank you. I'm going to go back and listen to this, and it'll make a lot more sense because I wasn't even trying right then and there. But there's a pervasive thought of how disappointing, how pathetic, what a representation of American society that just over 1/5 of the registered voters.
One over a quarter.
Okay.
It's 26%.
26%. Okay, still that seems low.
I know these numbers are getting tough on you.
Most people don't understand that.
Why does it seem low?
First of all, it's amazing that there are 80,000 plus people in this city who aren't even registered voters at all.
Well, there could be kids.
Thank you. That's why you're here. But why do you consider 26% a pretty good turnout?
I don't consider it a great turnout, but I don't know that it matters.
You don't think it's as crappy of a turnout as a lot of people think it was?
I don't think it's the end of the world. If people don't want to vote in a mayoral election, I don't want them to vote.
Yeah. Because
if they aren't paying attention, I don't want them to vote anyway.
Because I don't know about you, and I don't know about you, Cordell, but I saw from some of my friends who are very intelligent people who clearly do vote and do care about the city and about politics, who were just like giving a big thumbs down to everybody who didn't vote. Like, if you ever thought your vote doesn't matter, here you go. And that's mostly true. Clearly, it was separated by 2 votes. I'm guessing a lot of people who didn't vote would have voted for Jamie. A lot of people who didn't vote would have voted for Christine. That's hard to gauge, too. But why, in your mind, was this not a quote-unquote low turnout?
It's been going down for a while. So this is not an outlier by any means. The fact that it was fairly close to the first round, to me, is, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And again, the electorate, the number of registered voters has, at the beginning of the year, it was 137,000. Now it's 150,000.
Wow.
So in 2002, when we had when Munson ran against Dick Brown for an open mayor seat, there were only 67,000 registered voters. 2002 to today, 25 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
There's more than twice as many voters here than there were then. Okay. A lot of those people moved here from other places. Their civic connection is not as strong. So it doesn't bother me that much. Sure, I would love it if everybody read everything we wrote and paid attention to city government and instead of just bitching all the time about stuff that they don't know anything about.
Why'd you look at me like that?
No, I don't mean it about you.
I know.
I mean about people who.
I'm kidding.
I mean, there's an inordinate influence on our public, our perceptions based on what we read on social media. For the love of God,
Thank you.
just shut up.
Yeah. Yes.
Just shut up.
Yeah. I'll give you a micro example of that, not to get off on too much of a tangent and bring up a topic we brought up last pregame. But, I think there might be, this is just a micro example, and it's a recent example, is that if you are of the LGBTQ community in this town, and whether you are out openly about that or living in a closet afraid of what society, your employers, your fellow man will do to you.
Whatever it is, everybody's different.
Okay, and you go by, you get on the Facebook, you get on the Twitter, and you read the comments from news stories of all of our news outlets, and then you see the comments, and you see hateful comment after hateful comment after, ignorant, hateful comment. You think, wow, what an unwelcoming, not inclusive place this is. Gee, I don't really like living here. I think I'll stay in the closet or move somewhere else. And then you might go, if you actually get out and go to the Pride Parade and see 10 to 15,000 people there, most of whom are not gay or trans or ... They're there to support you. You go, okay, this is really my city. Yeah. I'm just bringing up a micro example of how sometimes social media skews reality.
That's exactly right.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
And, the idea, one of the things that I saw a lot about Jamie, there's nasty stuff about Christine too, so I don't mean this because there's plenty.
Yeah.
But this thing about, he's friends with Walls. He talked to Omar. That was Dusty more, but memes of him shaking hands with Vladimir Lenin. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. You don't.
Yeah. Did Hitler give him a fist bump? I don't know if I saw that.
And then just the comments. Well, it's going to make it just like Minneapolis. Well, shut up. Yeah. Just shut up. I'm tired of that, and I really don't read comments much. Because every time I do, it's just like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I try not to as well. It's like you're trying to make yourself angry. Well, it's like a mosquito bite. You're not supposed to itch it.
By the way, I got scabs on my legs from the no-see-ums.
Very applicable.
But can we talk about insects for a minute?
Yes.
I couldn't think of the proper scientific term. Not entomology, hepatology. I don't know. Bugs.
Anthropology?
Right? We didn't used to have no-see-ums in this part of the country. And if you don't know what a no-see-um is, they're those tiny little gnat-like creatures that crawl all over your legs and suck blood out of your... And then they're the worst. They're the worst of the worst. We didn't used to have them. We have them now.
Are you trying? Are you just still speaking in the vein of the elections? And are you talking about PACs who fund those commercials where we see Dusty Johnson and Omar together?
And the thing about that is, I don't care.
Yeah.
I wish there was more disclosure. I don't think there should be spending limits. I think you should be able to give as much money as you want to anybody you want. But you, John Gaskins, you, Cordell Wright, it just should be disclosed. And when you you can figure out who some of this comes from sometimes, but sometimes you can't. You shouldn't have to work that hard. Then I don't care where it comes from, and I don't care what kind of ads you put up. That's your business. Money is speech. The Supreme Court decided that, but that doesn't mean it can't be regulated differently. And one of the things that I would like to see is no limits, full disclosure. Okay. Only individuals.
I guess we can get back to some nuts and bolts. No, I love it.
Yeah.
I do want to steer it back to Why? Because I think a lot of people like me, okay, crazy, wow, 2 votes. Obviously, a recount is required. But when? When will we know who the mayor is? And you told me it could be 3 weeks.
Could be.
Why does it take?
Well,
is that how long it takes to
we gotta
recount it, or?
We have to wait till Tuesday for the city council to canvass the election, certify it. Then there's the recount petition. That would have to be, Christine's not going to ask for a recount.
So a recount has not started yet?
No, it can't.
Okay.
So
some people don't notice.
Then they need to appoint a 3-person board that is one person selected by each candidate, and then a 3rd person that is agreed upon by the 2 candidates. And those 3 people are the recount board.
Okay.
And then they start doing their work, and it's a long process. It took 2 weeks. Joe Sneevy wrote about this at Dakota Scout because he covered the last citywide recount, which was when Alex Jensen defeated Teresa Staley for council seat, and that was around 100 votes. And it moved a little. I can't remember the exact amount. But it takes a couple of weeks to do it.
Yeah.
And that there weren't as many votes in that race as there are in this one. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like how much of a sway? I mean, if it's only separated by 2 votes, then there could be a big sway, I guess. There could be a sway of 10 or 20 votes that tilt the scales one way or the other.
Don't you remember Florida 2000? The hanging chads and all that?
I'm still worn out by that, so don't remind me.
But, people make mistakes on ballots that don't get noticed the first time or whatever. It'll be there's this whole thing about mailed absentee ballots that didn't get in on time, and there was problems in at least one of the polling stations where they ran out of ballots. I mean, there are some irregularities here, not mischievous or malicious, just some stuff that happened that when it's 2 votes, you're like, God, really? How many people got turned away from or got sent to a different polling place and then didn't go? You know? Or got there, something was wrong, they just turned around and went home because it's the path of least resistance. When I tried, they didn't have a ballot. Okay, that's fair.
Yes, it is.
So that'll come out. That seems like a mistake that shouldn't happen.
Well, I'll try to completely cover bases. I'm asking a question that probably doesn't need to be asked. But there's not going to be another runoff. I mean, they're just going to count these, and whatever the count is, and it might very well come down to within 10 votes again.
Could be a tie.
Oh, my God. And then what?
I was going to go look at the charter today see if it's in there. I don't, in some places it comes down to a coin flip.
Yeah.
That happens. I don't know if the city council gets to vote on it. I don't know. I know it's in the charter. I'm pretty sure it's in the charter. I just don't know the answer to the question yet.
Okay, that's fine. So I guess the whole thing is stay tuned, and now Patrick gets to write
the drawing. The drawing of lots.
Patrick is on his second beer as well. You remind me of the Saturday Night Live skit with Mike Myers, the Simon, the kid in the bathtub.
My name is Simon.
Yeah, I like to do big drawings.
Yeah. So there you have it. It could come down to simple luck.
Wow. And that's who's going to be mayor, and that's, a card or a name in the hat.
I'd pick cards.
It's wild. Well, that gives you some, I don't know. Are you excited to write more about this in the coming weeks? It's interesting.
I want it to be done. That's just because the uncertainty isn't good for anybody. But it's going to be a different council. I mean, it's going to be a different city government. I mean, it's very interesting who's coming on. We don't know that much about where their head's going to be on some of the stuff that's important to the city.
Let's hold on that in an admittedly glossy way. But what you make of these results of a Coué and James Oppenheimer beats Vince Daw, which was another.
We should bring this up.
Yeah.
This is another foreign-born We have 2 foreign-born city councilors now.
Yeah.
Because he's from England.
Yes, he's from England. And he beat out a guy who was, correct me if I'm wrong, at least descendants of...
Yes. He was, I think Vince was born in the United States, but parents came here in 1993.
From?
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he lost about 60% to 40%.
Yeah.
But either way, you were going to have,
Great candidate. Vince is a guy who's not going away.
Yes. Yeah.
And, and I'm happy for that. I want him to stay engaged.
But what do you make? You mentioned Pankinen, just an amazing story because of the way she won from out of nowhere by just going door to door all the time. But what are these 3 victories, these 3 new seat holders to be? Tell you about the what could be the direction of votes in the city. And
I just think it's going to be different. I don't know where we're going to go, but when you think about who's going off, David Bronco, Kurt Sale, and Vernon Brown is vacating the seat that he's holding for Sarah Cole.
Okay.
That, and then you put in these 3 people.
Yeah.
Zach, James, and Sarah. Well, they've got completely different viewpoints on things than David Bronco, Kurt Sale, and Sarah Cole.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's good, bad, or indifferent. It's just, it's different people. So now you've got, and the other, there's a group of them that only been on there 2 years, which is Jennifer Siggety, Miranda Basie, and Spellerberg. They're not, and McCorris has been around now. He's going to be serving his 2nd term. Other than that, he's the only one that's going to be in a 2nd term in these next 2 years.
Wow.
So that's a pretty big turnover, plus a new mayor. It's just not going to be the same dynamic.
Okay. By the way, I just reading the stories from the Dakota Scout, which were printed on Sioux Falls Live.
Yes, thank you to our partners at Dakota Scout.
Covering the 2 places to be, and this goes for any election, but to be at the watch party, watching results come in, and it's like a sporting event. It's for media coverage as well. Cordell knows this well.
Yeah.
I've always, it's the Super Bowl
Yeah.
for TV stations, but also for print outlets.
Every time there's an update in the results, you hear the cheer go up or
the emotions of the number watching.
It's just like watching a football game.
And the way it was described at the Smith party last night, where I think he had a big lead and then it narrowed.
Yeah, the first
he was jubilant, and then it was more nervous, and by the end of the night, it was the kind of not defeat. We know it was close enough that it's not defeat, but a little dejected. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, but everybody had to know that was going to narrow.
Of course,
like the first dump, it was absentee votes, and he was up by 12 points. Well, yeah, come on.
All right.
Yeah, and towards the end, with every 10 minutes, it was flopping back and forth.
Yeah.
He was ahead, then she was ahead, then he was ahead, and then finally, two votes.
Fill in the blank. The biggest difference between a Christine Erickson led Sioux Falls and a Jamie Smith led Sioux Falls, because we know the difference in voting is minuscule, but what will be the difference in the leadership? Would you see?
I think Christine is much more hands-on. Not that she's not going to surround herself with a good team and all that. That's a necessity. That's a given. I think that it's more hands-on management. Jamie is going to be, as by his own admission, more of a rah-rah guy. So it's going to be very important for him, if he does win, to hire somebody who is much more conversant with the daily operations of City Hall.
Okay.
Because that can quickly spin out of control.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. He would know. He has seen it all in 30-plus years. Well, we put in a good half hour there. I think.
That's all right. I think we did all right.
Hopefully, we didn't leave anything on the cutting room floor.
You
but
can go watch my interview with.
Yes. SiouxFallsLive.com. If it matters to you and you're listening to this, go to SiouxFallsLive.com, and there are just articles galore, some which involve videos like Patrick's sit down with Jamie Smith.
I do have also in that same story.
Yeah.
I have the film from Christine's little presser after her speech last night. So
cool.
Which was interesting.
They always are. Okay, they were asking. I thought they were yelling at us back there.
No.
Somebody's asking about what happened to the top hat. I don't know. That's going to require another show. Folks.
I don't know what happened to the top hat. I never know what happened to the top hat.
For Patrick Lalley, thank you as always.
Thank
Video
you, John.
producer Cordell Wright. Again,
Thank you, Cordell.
SiouxFallsLive.com. Get a subscription. Know more about your city. It's headed in an interesting direction, but we still don't know where. And we'll probably do another show after the next.
Let's do it.
When we know who the mayor is.
Give you an update.
Which will be right around the time we're going to have the gubernatorial runoff election, right?
July 28th.
July 28th for the Doden Roden show.
I'm not worrying about that one. Neither of them will be here, I would bet.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time in history that there's no candidate.
But it
party in Sioux
will
Falls.
be a mosquito bite we're going to dare to itch.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers. Wrap it up. I just did.
You need anything else, John?
No, I think I'm good, Greg. I think I'm going to tap out.
All right. Have a good night.